I see that we have some participants join us, probably more coming from the other sessions. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our PGS Talks 4, the last keynote speech on the Eastern blog of the 2023 PGS Summit. This session is entitled Inside the Battle for the Hearts and Minds of Tomorrow Business Leaders. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Thomas Dyllick. Thomas is a professor emeritus for sustainability management at the University of St. Gallen and the director at the Institute for Business Sustainability in Lucerne, Switzerland. He's the director and the of the Executive Diploma in Advanced Sustainability, co-founder and member of the supervisory board of the Positive Impact Rating Association. Thomas is passionate about the true business sustainability and responsible management education, a great champion of responsible management education worldwide, a great partner of Prime as the Positive Impact Rating. So it's a great pleasure for having you today with us, Thomas. Thanks for sharing your time. And with no further ado, the floor is all yours.
Wonderful. Paolo, thank you so much. I hope you can see me and my slides. Happy to meet you. Well, just a few words to my background, and then I will jump right into my presentation. I was a dean and a vice president at the University of St. Gallen for a number of years. And as a vice president, I was in charge of rankings and accreditations. And if you are familiar with rankings, you probably know that they typically measure what is good for the business school itself and not what the business school does for others, for the world, for example. This is typical business school rankings. And a second aspect, typically the rankings ask the schools to do the assessment themselves. They don't ask anybody else, like the students, for example. So that was the beginning of our discussions around a new and completely different ranking. And it turned out to become a rating, the Positive Impact Rating for business schools. It is completely different because it is a rating by students, it's run by students, and it is basically for students. So what are the key elements of this positive impact rating? You see these 3 points here. The positive impact rating measures the positive impact of business schools. So it's not how much the alumni earn, but it's what the business school, what it does good for the world, to the outside world. And second, as seen and assessed by its own students. It's the students that assess their own business school. I would think they're a very good choice because they know their business school very well. So why not ask them and give them a voice? Third, the peer deliberately has been designed as a rating and not as a ranking. A rating, you can think of a Gauen Millau or a Guide Michelin rating, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars. We go up to 5 stars, and we group the schools only on these different levels, like 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars. Only the 3 best levels we report. We don't report on poor performing schools because we don't want to play this game for shaming. But we only report on the better schools, and we rate them alphabetically. So there's not a ranking like in a football league or a soccer league, because again, we don't think that the differences between individual places are that significant that it really is important to know who is on 34 or on 35 or whatever the rank may be. So just 5th level, 4th level, or 3rd level. Now, there's a model behind it that was developed by a large group of business school stakeholders, among them a number of students from student organizations, and we developed the positive impact rating model. It consists of 3 areas. 1, energizing the school, 2, educating the students, and 3, engaging for positive impact. Underneath these areas, you see 7 dimensions. So the energizing area has 2 dimensions: the governance of the school and the culture of the school. The educating area has 3 dimensions: the programs offered, the learning methods used, and the student support, the support that the students receive from the school to engage. And the 3rd area is engaging for positive impact. Here we have the 2 dimensions: institutions as a role model, and what is the public engagement of the school and of its representatives. So these are the dimensions. There are 20 questions overall. Every single question is measured on a scale from 1, which is very low, to 10, which is highest. So this is an assessment that the students use to assess, to evaluate their own business school. Now, in addition, we have 2 open questions where we ask the students, what do you want your school stop doing or start doing? But maybe let me just point out our last edition, the 2023 edition of the PEER. There were 71 participating business schools from across the globe and 12,800 student responses. So it's quite impressive, the schools that are participating already. And on average, we had 180 responses per school. 50 business schools, by the way, come from the developed economies, 20 from the developing economies, which is extremely interesting. The schools from the developing economies turned out to perform the best. In particular, schools from India, but also from Peru and from Hong Kong performed the best. Now, let's look at these 2 open questions. There we had 6,000 answers, 6,000 student answers that we evaluated. Excuse me. And we learned that what the students would like their schools to stop do is waste on campus, ignore the students. Well, should be clear this. They should stop downplaying diversity and fairness. They should stop greenwashing and unethical partnerships with business. And they should stop overloading the business students. Now, I don't know if that is a surprise. Some of these things seem simple and direct, but still it's important to know that 6,000 student answers are behind these. Now, for me, even more interesting are the answers to the questions, what should the schools start doing? Now, these 6 aspects have been stressed in particular by the students. Integrate sustainability broadly into the curriculum and make it mandatory. So not just a side event. Second, address relevant practical problems and solutions in these classes, in case studies, in presentations, and so on. Third, integrate stakeholders from business and society into the learning process. Students want to learn directly from people that are engaged in the societal arenas, in the business arena, to learn most from these active people. Then innovate the learning methods. Teaching still is very much frontal teaching from the top. Students are expected to listen and to write down, which is not the way that we today are teaching, what is up to speed and up to knowledge. It's much more an involved learning and interactive learning where you are faced with current and relevant issues in society. Last point, make sure the teaching faculty is open-minded and committed to the topic. Now, these are the aspects that were most mentioned by the students, what the schools should start doing. I find them to be very interesting. Now, a unique feature of this positive impact rating is its dual value proposition. While traditionally rankings only rank a school, so they deliver a ranking table and you know on what place the school ends up. Now, the positive impact rating is a lot more ambitious. As a rating tool, first, it is based on capturing the voice of the school students. It analyzes the school's performance as seen through the eyes of the students, which is particular, which is special. Thirdly, the schools still are benchmarked, but only on these levels and by presenting different case studies that are available online or in our yearly report, where you can learn from the best practice of other schools. And a final element as a rating tool, certainly you can use the results and the insights to communicate your positive impact, be it to accreditation organizations, be it to ranking or rating organizations, or be it to the public. Excuse me. Now, a second fundamental aspect of the positive impact rating and our second value proposition is the positive impact rating as a tool to support school development, which is special because the schools and the students get all the information that was collected and the resulting results. So it's a tool for social impact measurement, for learning from other peer schools, for empowering students and for creating positive change. Now let me finish with our promise that the peer is a rating by students and for students. Why? Overall, because it's the student voice that assesses the positive impact of their schools, and the students can use the rating results and insights to select the school for their own studies. Moreover, and in detail, students have been involved in the design of the rating and are directly involved in the management of the rating. Second, students collaborate with the school management to set up the rating at their schools, and they run the rating at their schools. So they are the ones that send out the questionnaires and invite peer students, their own students, to participate and to answer to the questionnaire. The students at the end get full access to the data they collect at their schools. And finally, students are empowered to collaborate with school management and use their data for school development. So students are involved from the beginning and to the end and are invited to get into discussions on school development with the professors or with the school management. Let me finish. The positive impact rating, it is from being the best in the world to being the best for the world. If you're interested, get on our peer student landing page where you find a lot more information that is relevant for the students, or to the more general peer webpage, which you find here as well. So thank you very much. So much to my presentation, and back to Paolo.
Thomas, thank you so much for sharing the outstanding model of the positive impact rating and all the synergies of what we believe for and by students. It's clear on your mission, and thanks for sharing some insights, especially also the learnings from North and Global South, North Global and South Global. And it's a pleasure to have you here. And thanks for championing Prime Global students and for always supporting us. I really appreciate your presence today.
Thanks, Paulo. It was a pleasure to be here, and all the best to your conference. I know it's going on.
Okay, thank you so much. So with the amazing keynote speech delivered by Thomas, we are closing the Eastern Bloc today. We have 4 hours of constructive conversations around various topics on climate justice, on digital transition, on the SDGs balance and the role of young people, on gender equality, and so on. So thanks for all of you who stay with us, who contributed to organizing this conference, also to the PGS Talks team and all the students behind the logistics and all the speakers that share their insights with us today. We'll be back in 2 hours with the Western Bloc with many great things ahead of us. Thank you so much and see you soon.